implants, right? They're concerned that they are being removed from those reservations. I have a theory that the Trail of Tears were all the indigenous that weren't going to sell out, and they left those territories. And the ones that were contracted to stay on those lands were placeholders for later for the government that will eventually take it because there's no indigenous on those lands. There's only natives, which aren't people that are from those arenas. They were people planted on those arenas. What say you, Rod, about that?
Okay, so first I went over this last night on the live I did on my Facebook.
Mhm.
But the settlers came was originally heavily melanated Europeans.
Mhm.
Those people that we call Native Americans with the Genghis Khan blood, the Siberians,
The Mongolian, yeah, the Mongolians, yeah.
go back to who Rome was fighting.
Hold on, my dog said, hey, chill. My wolves, hold on, my wolf privates, they're out of control. Chill out, but it's okay. They're probably seeing the Insepticons outside. Hold on, come on, good girl. Over there. Okay, sorry about that.
Mm. Okay, so they brought their servants with them. The history books say they brought servants with them.
Mhm.
They also numbered the servants they was bringing with them. The Trail of Tears was after King George put a military buffer zone between West Florida and East Florida.
Okay, okay.
Right. In West Florida, what we call it today, Louisiana,
Mhm.
they fighting the French.
That's right.
In East Florida, they fighting the Spanish.
That's right.
The English, King George, inserts his military between them because we was going south and east to support the Gullah Wars. Then we stumbled across the Huguenot Wars, the French. So we begin to concentrate our forces in the south. This is why most of us can trace directly south.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then some of the ones of us that can trace south can trace back bloodline a very long time on the land, pre-Columbian, if you want to know, like
Absolutely.
Chief Warhorse, for example.
Yeah.
She got a family history dating back like 13,000 years,
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful.
right? So that means that she was here long before Columbus came.
My tribe
Her
is from
bloodline was here.
Carib. Yeah, we were there in Caribs where we were there way before.
Now,
Yeah.
if we remembered our culture, we would have knew that all of the South was tribes in Africa, and you still got pockets in South America and in Louisiana where the old man come out, he might slap her some, hey, yo, come on over here, Gators.
No, yeah, they don't even in South America with the caiman, which are like and like little alligators, the little capybaras, they're so cute, like big rats. The capybara, 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 capybara. I love this song. Capybara, capybara, capybara. Those little capybaras are like sitting on alligators. Alligators on the caiman don't bite them. And there were people who swim with them who in the Gully, wasn't it the Gully? Which tribe in the Mississippi? They used to, the brown indigenous were swimming with them. They were,
You know what stopped it, don't you?
wait, say it again?
You know how they stopped it, right? They
By
started
feeding
gator
the
baiting our
babies.
children.
Yeah, they start putting the babies and
And
throwing them in the
that's
cage.
what made them have a taste for our flesh because they wouldn't eat us.
That's right.
But they eat strangers that don't belong over here because his scent is different.
Hmm.
But the ones from here, they didn't eat us.
They didn't.
We was literally one with nature.
Hmm. Like in Avatar, like in
Yeah.
Avatar, really,
We had treehouse villages.
which I plan to live in eventually.
Mhm. You never had to come down to the ground for nothing.
I would.
They had life figured out how to live in the treetops. Shout out to the treetop Hyrule.
But the trees also. Pheromonically, like even the things that they did, the way that they uh created fruit. The fruit actually was when it grew, it actually grew every single nutrient that was specific to the certain people living there. We were
Yeah,
symbiotic with the trees.
yeah. We remember when we used to use the bathroom, we used to use the bathroom under the tree,
That's right. That's right. Because all
right?
we did was eat fruit. We were eating more natural and organic too. Yeah.
The the soil then has your energy signature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Same way you
It's,
pee in your garden to keep, I mean, to
yeah.
keep that inside.
And where you lacking that, Mother Nature adjusts the fruit to match your biology.
Mm-hmm.
That's why mass slaughter was prohibited.
Mm,
We didn't slaughter animals that we didn't have a relationship with.
it's true.
And they understood that they was there, what they was there for, to feed the people. So we didn't mass slaughter nothing, but we use every part of everything that we killed.
For everything, the antlers, and also gave honor, even now with my children, give honor to every animal that we engage with for the
Yeah.
life that was given, and it wasn't a sacrifice that was in vain.
That's where the
Mhm.
culture come from.
Yes, absolutely.
All of the earth tribes would honor what they kill before they eat it.
Mhm. Kosher and the what is it? The what's the other one? The Islamic one?
Halal.
Halal, halal, and kosher. And they don't mix the milk of the mother with the flesh of the child, which is parv. You separate even in the fridge of Jewish people, you separate the milk, any dairy from any of the flesh, even the utensils. It's an energetic thing. Yeah.
But really, the livestock they have now, the bovine beef, we
Mhm.
supposed to use products from it. We're not supposed to eat the meat.
Mm.
This polyunsaturated fat. The side effects is it causes what the consistency of lard to build up in your brain over time,
Mhm.
strangling your synapses.
Yeah.
Petroleum oils.
And it,
The oils that we used to use it from bison fat,
hmm
the fat of
ghee,
the lamb.
yeah, and tallow, which I
Mhm.
still use. And we're not supposed to use like oils uh um like oils like saturated oils. Like those oils are block the arteries, and a lot of
Yeah.
the oils is toxic when you cook it, when you warm it up. It changes
We
out
used,
chemically.
we used to
Yeah.
use a lot of whale oil too.
Mm-hmm. 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 Way different. Yeah. Every
They
people.
decimated the whales.
Do you imagine? Even with the story of the buffalo, when they killed all the buffalo, which was the main source of food and nourishment for specific tribes. I mean, just to think of how heinous these beings were who came over here, who did that. And there's been no
You got to remember why they said they did it. Then you know your culture, and then you can look at the background and see why they really did it. They say for every bison they killed one of us.
That reminds me of Avatar. Remember when they killed the whale and it was a
Mhm.
symbiotic with the women? It was like they were siblings. Oh, that gave me
Yeah.
a shock.
So we had what's known as the Bison Clan became known as Buffalo Soldiers.
Mm,
They
buffaloes.
make fun of them in the TV show called The Flintstones.
Did they? Wait, they did?
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, I gotta say, because I watch the Flintstones. Oh, you're gonna teach me something today, or many things today, right?
yeah. They make this is the Bison Clan in satire.
Well, I didn't even think about that. Holy cow.
They got a whole bunch. The old Mississippians, they call them the Big Red Brute. That's in a different cartoon.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Then the ones that the rapping Indians
Hmm.
that don't nobody know what he's saying but the chief, that was an underdog. They was call them the Gopher Indians. Now we don't know what they was making fun of us for until we look back in retrospect.
Hmm. Hmm.
The scout chief, because he had one feather, that means he was in training. He was sabotaging the European forces. He would talk in front of the European forces. He would be rapping and pop locking. So they don't know what he's saying. But the old chief with the full headdress sitting there listening to him rapping, and when he come back, he say, "What's the plan you got?"
Holy cow. I didn't know. Didn't know. Wow.
Yeah. So they've made fun of us ad nauseum in the cartoons.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Um, as we're talking about that and we're going forward into the new administration, let me ask you a question. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the inauguration or no?
I didn't watch it.
Okay. There's a part when Trump was going to put his hand, there was like two Bibles, two books. You know how with president, the pooping president, the
Mm,
previous
yeah.
non-president, where he didn't even put it, he put on a satanic ritualistic book, obviously. This
Good
time,
boy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Trump's wife was carrying two books. One, I think was they explain as like an old Bible of the family, another one on top. This time, when he originally made when he did become president in the previous administration, he put his hand on the Bible. This time he didn't. What do you think? Why do you think he didn't?
Can't swear in twice.
Position of power.
They was running the corporation. He was running the republic.
Woo, you're right. Two are separate. They're two separate entities.
They was they hired Kamala to fail miserably. That's her job.
Well, and also to cosplay brown women, so it brings more of a lower, perceiving brown women to be, you know, cooking greens in the bathtub, being, acting like a buffoon, just basically spoofing brown women. It's disgusting.
Yes. Anyway, so
I'm sorry.
he already is holding the office. The Biden administration gave them a 4-year extension to close out the corporation,
Mm,
right? The first thing he did was 50 executive orders.
mm.
Why the number 50?
That five is for change. That's a five, but I don't know why 50. 50 was it reminiscent of the stars
Mhm.
or
It's 50 is the final flip. It's only 50 seats on the council. 50 is the final flip, the final seat.
mm.
I'm big 50. GD Prairie Dog, 4850. Knocked off 49 on the Pepe Le Pew, Pepper from the Pews.
Holy cow. Okay.
So, so when you get to the final flip,
Hmm.
everything accelerates.
As we see, yeah. Now, question before you go further. Why is he doing the deeds of, I call them the Daros, but or rather the Israel? Why is he doing the bidding of Israel and not taking the stance of like saying that he would take over their lands? And also, why is he sitting with Netanyahu without any consequence or anything, even though there was a little bit of dissension, which was like which we saw, even though it looked like it was clean, there was a little bit of some micro hostility showing up when they sat together. What do you think about that?
You know, you know who Vanessa Williams was, right?
Of course.
Miss America.
Yes.
Joe Montana was playing his last big game, and they played her song "Save the Best for Last," and he came out in clown. And ain't time to deal with that right now.
Mm,
Create a compelling spectacle. Polarize the people. Confuse your enemy.
I understand. I understand.
Those people who's pretending to be Jews in Gaza and the West Bank in this makeshift country called Israel are
Mhm.
Ukrainians.
Yes, yes,
Before they were called Ukrainians, they was called Khazarians.
yes. Khazars, which are converts from Eastern Russia and Poland and Ukraine.
Right. That's different than the Sephardi.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Those are a different group of people. Them the ones saying that they Jews for Palestine
I
because they don't agree with this
They
Khazarian.
don't. They don't. And they're
Yes.
very strong about it. Even in Brooklyn over on Carroll Street, they've been protesting. They're not for it. No.
And, and a lot of them will flat out tell you those are not Jews, those
Oh,
are
they say it.
Zionists.
Yeah. Well, we have friends who are,
We,
we have a friend who's there and she's like, we don't associate with them. We want them to leave. Yeah,
yeah, those are Zionists. Zionists are a different group of people.
they are.
Those
Genetic.
are those are the byproducts of the concubines of the Moors when it was Prussia.
Speak, Rod.
During the Prussian rule, this was dismantled by Tsar Nicholas, which made them take over Russia with the Bolshevik Revolution,
Yes. Yes.
right?
And they got to alter.
Vladimir Lenin set it off. Stalin furthered the agenda,
Mhm.
and Gorbachev tore down the wall.
That's right.
This is a stage show, political satire,
Mm.
theatrical performance of political elites that don't have no real power playing out a monopoly game.
Woo! Using everybody else as their pawns.
And as long as you don't know that you're being played, they're gonna keep playing you until you can't be played no more.
That's right. Absolutely.
Those people got their day coming. If he tell them people from that's really Palestinians to leave the West Bank, if I was them, I'd leave.
Mm.
Because who you leaving behind?
Mm-hmm.
X marks the spot.
Ooh. Clear the space so that the real consequence could come to those who deserve it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or as Rakim say, run for cover.
Woo! I know that's right. Now, what say you about what's happening in the Congo as well? You've heard about what's happening in the Congo with the mass destabilization. I think it's the same people. I think they're Israelis. They were mercenaries over there. And like whenever I lived in New York all my life, but when you go to the Diamond District, you don't see Africans selling gold and diamonds. You only see Jews,
Mhm.
Ashkenazi Jews who monopolize that.
Well, okay, but you trace the diamonds back. The diamonds, any diamond on the market that doesn't come through the De Beers Corporation is considered a blood diamond.
That's right. That's right.
The De Beers company is the one who tags the diamond with its identifier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Qualifies
they
it.
are they are the monopoly in the diamond world. They are the ones who selected the Khazarian bankers to disseminate their diamonds. And they control the flow of the diamonds by controlling who they give it to.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Right. So when we talking about the trade in gold and diamonds on the Gold Coast, this is why you primarily seeing what looked like a Hasidic Jew,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? The Sephardi, they the ones, those the Jews that got to work their way up, just like us.
They do. They do. It's sad, but it's okay. Yeah.
And they ideologically do not agree with those other Zionist Jews
Yeah.
that's pushing the agenda of the more Zionist Jews.
Mm-hmm. And they're subjugated under marginalization when they're in Israel or anywhere else. It's seen as lower tier. Like the
Well,
Nick,
now, how did they get to be Jews?
who the Sephardic?
Yeah. When
Wasn't,
they, okay,
yeah.
look, they ousting the Moors from Europe. Moors are primarily Arabs.
Yes.
The
Or
people
North
that's
Africa.
being used
North Africa.
to exile them are primarily Christians.
Yeah.
The ones who converted as Sephardi didn't want to take sides in the war.
Oh, so they took a neutral position of something all the way on the other side.
Yeah,
So it wasn't so not to be a party of Islam or not to be a party to the Christianity. So they
yeah.
took a neutral stance. Ah, interesting.
Both Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Bean do lectures on that European history,
Mm-hmm, hmm.
how
Dr.
these people get to be Jews.
Dr. Jeffries was my professor. He was
And he
actually,
did some lectures on them too. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's how I learned about it when I was like 17. Yeah, he's
yeah.
my friend.
So they end up being the ones who didn't want to be part of the religious cult of them homosexuals.
Oh,